For 3a, I got it wrong because I didn't use the squeeze theorem. So this time I did use the squeeze theorem. And since the range of cosine is -1 to 1, I put -1 is less than cosine, which is less than 1. And then I multiplied all sides by e to the 1, and then square root of x on each side. And then since the limit as x approaches 0 from the right of square root of the x is 0, both left and right sides approach 0. So boom, that means the middle has to be 0 by squeeze theorem. 3b, what I did was separate the fraction into the components with k and without k, and boom, look, you can factor out the one x and one k so that you get absolute value of x minus 3, and on this side absolute value of -x plus 3. And since it's from the left, this would be negative, so instead of putting absolute value, you just put -x plus minus 3, and then when you put in the negative, you get -x plus 3, so those cancel out, and you're left with an 8. And then on the right side, this would be positive, so the absolute values don't do anything. So you just get -x plus 3 with no negative on the outside. So you're left with xk. So when you add xk plus 8, you get xk plus 8. And then since x is approaching 3, you get 3x plus 8. I think I got 5a wrong, but I should have got it right. So if you know this, that lim of as x approaches c of f of x is equal to f of lim as x approaches c of f of x, then you would know that lim as x approaches -1 from the right is 2, and f of 2 is not 5 because there's a hole there. It's actually 2, and I got 2 on my quiz. So boom. Cool story, bro. 8b, the counterexample. If f of x is x, then lim as x approaches 0 of x over x is equal to lim as x approaches 0 of 1, which equals 1. So the limit equals 1, but f of 0 is not 1. F of 0 is 0. Because if you plug 0 into x, then you get 0. Boom. 9a. So I know that x got pulled out, so that means there's a hole at x. So I did the limit as x approaches 0 of the simplified version, and you get square root of 9 over 3. Square root of 9 over 1, which equals 3. There we go. So therefore, there's a hole at 0, 3, because the limit approaches 3, but the value at 3 is undefined. 9b. One more spot where f of x was undefined was -1/2. I knew this was a vertical asymptote because you can't pull this out with algebra. So I did the limit from the left side, and I got an increasing number over 0 to the left decreasing. So that means it's approaching -infinity. And for the limit from the right, I got an increasing number, positive number, over a decreasing 0 from the right, which is still positive, so that means it approaches infinity. Boom. As you can see, I struggled a bit on C, but then after using my brain, limit as x approaches infinity of this, I divided by the highest degree of the bottom, so I got 1 over x times square root of x, 16x squared plus 9 over 2 plus 1 over x, and then I moved the 1 over the x from the top to the bottom and flipped it, so I got 2x plus 1, and then the top is just square root of 16x squared plus 9, and then I used my brain and remembered that the highest power is the only thing that affects the horizontal asymptote. So the top, the 9 is negligible, and the bottom, the 1 is negligible. So you end up with square root of 16 x squared over 2x, which is equal to 4 absolute value x over 2x. If you plug in infinity, you get 4 infinity over 2 infinity, which equals 2. And then oppositely, for the negative infinity, 4 absolute value of negative infinity is 4 infinity over 2 times negative infinity is negative 2 infinity. So you get negative 2 on the left side.